Alright guys, so today I'm going to be discussing and going over what happened during the first Northeast Division BFL on the Potomac River. I was going to do a video series on this, but this is my first year being a co-angler, so I didn't really want to worry about recording. The first tournaments were just like a learning experience to me. I wanted to get adjusted to you know, the morning routine with meeting your boaters and everything, so I really didn't want to worry about recording. I did record some practice footage. I'll cue the intro right now. What's going on, guys? We're down here at the Potomac River for the 2018 Northeast BFL. It's Thursday. We're here pre-fishing. We got 2 days to figure them out. We got me co-angling this year. We got Dylan co-angling. We got boater Anthony Ogle here.
Trying everything off.
In the Nitro. Beautiful rig. But we're here, we're rigged up, we're ready to go. We've been waiting a long time for this. So yeah, rescheduled back. There was an event early April, but you know, this is the Northeaster division, so they had to reschedule that, and now we're here about to get on the water, so see you out there. But other than that, I lost a lot of my footage on my GoPro. My plan was to put together a little video series with all the clips and stuff, but I'll be doing that for Champlain, Oneida, and 1,000 Islands. So I was thinking, what kind of video could I make from the Potomac trip, and I decided here just to go over what we did and how I caught them during the tournament, and what my boater did that led to me making those lure changes on what I was throwing then compared to what I was doing with my boater in practice. So I just want to go over the lures that I used to catch my fish, and just overall what I thought of my first BFLs. So we got down there on Thursday, and it was pretty nasty out. It was raining, it was windy. They were calling for high winds Thursday, Friday also. So Thursday we just stayed in Mattawoman Bay. I believe that's what it called, or creek, right at the Smallwood launch. I'm not really too familiar with all the areas on the Potomac right now. I started off throwing a Carolina rig in Mattawoman, and there was just nothing going on. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna switch up to a moving bait, and I decided to throw the new Menace Jig chatterbait. And that ended up being the key to this fish right here. That was the only fish we caught that day. It was just a really tough bite. We were out there for maybe 5 hours, 6 hours, and that's all we figured out. After Thursday, we came up with the idea. We saw guys catching them shallow, we caught them shallow. So Friday, with the wind dying down a bit, we decided to go on the main river and try to get the other places. But the main river was like chocolate milk, so we really didn't have much going on there. So what we ended up doing is we went into a marina and we started drop shotting and throwing shaky heads, and then, you know, we caught a few just keepers and then a bunch of shorts, and that was pretty much it for the day. It was a grind, the 2 days of practices we were there. Skip that and we'll go to Saturday morning, the original second Potomac date. The one on Sunday was a rescheduled one from April 7th because there was a nor'easter coming, because it's the Northeast division. So they rescheduled it for that Sunday, which was kind of nice, having the two tournaments next to each other, saved on driving down there again. But on Saturday, my boater was one of the coolest guys I've ever met. He didn't catch him a lot in practice. He had kind of a plan on what he wanted to do, so we stayed near the launch in the morning, and I hooked into a 14.5-inch fish like 10 minutes into the tournament, and that was on a rage crawl, Texas rigged, and lily pads. And the bites were just unreal subtle out in the lily pads. So I caught that fish. I missed about an hour later, probably about a 4-pound fish in the pads on the Texas rig. I hooked him and he just popped off when he jumped. It was my first heartbreak fishing the BFLs like that. Obviously, come tournament time, it gets tough when I lose a fish like that, but it happens. And it was so early, you just got to keep going. 10 minutes after I lost that bite, my boater landed one on a Texas rig crawl. and we were flipping shallow with Texas rigs and shaky heads and getting a few nibbles. They were tiny bass. Once high tide came in, we went to Belmont, and there was just boats on boats on boats there, and we're like, okay, we're gonna have to stay in this community hole, which isn't always the most fun thing to do, but a lot of nice fish could come out of it, and people around us were catching short fish all day long there. But once that high tide hit, it just turned on, and that's when I caught my first 3 keepers. I got it on a Dobbins Fury with a Strike King red eye shad rattle trap, 1/2 ounce, and I was just bombing it and ripping it right when it hit the water, and the fish were just nailing it. I caught my first 3 keepers on that, or sorry, I caught my first 2 keepers on the rattle trap and a couple shorts, and then I threw a Senko and was dragging it through the grass, and I caught one 16-incher on that. So that was my 3rd keeper, and we ended up running. We fished a bunch of rocks, and we were throwing these KVDs all day, or at least I was. My boater, I forget what he was throwing. It might have been a Bagley, and I caught a short on this. My boater caught a keeper. He caught a keeper in Belmont. I didn't mention that. So there were his 3 keepers, the one from Mad Woman, Belmont, and then the rocks. And then I caught my last keeper on the KVD. This thing is just beat up, man. But it caught a few fish, shorts, and my one last keeper with 15 minutes left. Man. But I'll cue the weigh-in.
Part for you this year. Damien. Damien Slocco from Center Valley, Pennsylvania. Just on the corner side right there, Damien. 4 fish in that bag for Damien. He is also a first-time angler. Good job, man. There's 4 right there, weigh 10 pound and 8 ounces. That's good for 15th, Damien. That could get you a check for your first tournament. You can get a picture. Hold it above that basket. Some will be glad to get you a couple pictures. All right.
I ended up with 10-8. For my first tournament, I was really happy with that. At the moment, I was in 15th place, but then that ended up having me finish in 21st, and I got a decent check out of it, which was really nice. And overall fun day, great boater. It was unreal how nice this dude was. He's the kind of guy that I would want to fish with every single day. He's just down to earth. And the second day, I was paired with another great dude. He was really cool. I met him in the morning at the ramp, and we had a plan. He had a plan from the day before. He only caught 1 fish, but towards the end of the day, he was catching bigger fish, but just too late, and he lost them both at the boat. So since the water was warming up, we had this plan to go in an area near Belmont. About 45 minutes in, we decided to make a run to another creek, but on the way there, he ended up hitting something when we were running like full speed, and his lower unit just blew up. It was really bad. So we were done by like 7:30 in the morning, and we were on the trolling motor trying to find a ramp because we really couldn't do anything where we were. And we ended up rolling up on this naval base, and this lady was fishing there that actually worked there. So she gave my boater a ride back to the ramp and got him through the naval gates back in, and we were able to take the boat out there. And I was back at the ramp by 12 o'clock, and I just chilled there until everyone came back to weigh in. So it was a brutal day. I got 20 participation points out of it. It happens though. I feel bad for my boater, man. He was really cool, and we probably would have been on some good fish that day. He had a good plan, but it happens. And overall, the experience was awesome. I cannot wait for the rest of this year. I had nothing but a good time meeting new people and talking to people, fishing the new waters. But next time, I'm definitely going to be putting together a video series on Champlain of practice and tournaments and stuff. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the tournament stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.